This story is straight out of a Hollywood movie. It involves two warring sides, one consulate and an alleged fugitive researcher. What am I talking about? The latest episode in the U.S.-China diplomatic war. The U.S. claims that a Chinese scientist is hiding in China's San Francisco consulate. The researcher's name is Yuan Tang. She's accused of visa fraud. She was a biology teacher at the University of California. What American authorities did not know was that she also served in the Chinese military. An open source investigation uncovered photos of her in military uniform. When American agents reached her house, they found evidence of her affiliation to the Chinese military. She was interviewed by the FBI and its agents on the 20th of June. She maintained that she has no ties with the Chinese military. U.S. authorities claim that Yuan fled to the Chinese consulate soon after the interview. A case has been filed at a U.S. federal court. Let me read out a line from the court filings, and this is what the prosecutors claim. As the Tang case demonstrates, the Chinese consulate in San Francisco provides a potential safe harbor for a PLA official intent on avoiding persecution in the United States, unquote. American authorities say this is not an isolated case, and they argue that it's part of a Chinese program to send military scientists to America. And this is just a portion of the drama that's playing out between the United States and China. Like we told you yesterday, the U.S. has ordered the closing of China's Houston consulate. And it may now also have to close the San Francisco consulate if the authorities want to get hold of the Chinese researcher. You know, the consulate building, any consulate building, is a diplomatic facility. So you cannot enter until the country allows. The FBI will not be allowed to raid it. And this perhaps is the very reason why the researcher is supposedly hiding inside this building. And this is not the first time that someone is hiding in an embassy. It's a favorite refuge among dissidents, and China is now extending its diplomatic facility to supposed criminals. But what happens if America tells China to shut this consulate? How will they ferry the so-called PLA spy out of there? In 2012, remember, two Chinese authorities had sought refuge in the American embassy in Beijing. So this definitely is not the first consulate hide and seek between the US and China. According to the 1961 Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, local police require permission of the ambassador to enter a diplomatic facility. So embassies are risk-proof. And then there's a layer of human rights protection. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, in a way, allows embassies to harbor people. Embassies can consider whether there is a real risk to the person. If they feel that handing over the person to local authorities could result in his or her death, then they can shield such a person. In 1989, a Chinese astrophysicist, Fang Lizi, took refuge in the U.S. Embassy in Beijing. And this was around the time of the Tiananmen crackdown. He stayed there for more than a year, then moved to America. Why am I telling you all of this? Because when it comes to the case of Yuan Tang, there is nothing that American authorities can do. If they want to get hold of her, they will have to shut down the Chinese consulate at San Francisco. Will America do that? Well, Trump says maybe.
As far as closing additional embassies, it's always possible. You see what's going on. We thought there was a fire in the one that we did close, and everybody said there's a fire, and I guess they were burning documents or burning papers, and I wonder what that's all about.